Hi guys, welcome back to your weekly dose of life-work balance. In today's video, we look at burnout, how to recognize it, how to stop it before it's too late, and how to prevent it in the first place. I wish I knew all this when it happened to me years ago. And a warning, this video will be super long. My name is Sabrina Cadini. I'm your holistic precision life coach and the creator of the life-work balance system, helping you live and work better thanks to customized lifestyle changes. If you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive notifications every time I have new content for you. Burnout. It happened to me years ago, and believe me, it wasn't fun. If you are one of those high-performing and super committed professionals like me, there's a good chance that you experienced burnout, or you will experience it at some point in your life. Or maybe you're suffering from it right now without even realizing it. You work long hours, the heavy workload feels like no big deal because you love what you do, and you keep going without giving your body and your brain a necessary break. Does it sound familiar? That was me back in 2011, and I shared my story in the first episode of this video series. I'll link it here in case you missed it. Unfortunately, in our modern society, there's a culture of busyness, never taking a break. You may experience too much stress for a prolonged period if you work in high-pressure environments, or if you work from home, you have a very hard time to leave work at work. Your daily life is mixed with house chores, client calls, kids, meetings, deadlines, all the distractions of the digital world, and everything else that fills your busy day, being unable to slow down and set boundaries. And this can easily open the door to burnout. Speaking of distractions in the digital world, next week I will dedicate an entire video to digital wellness, and I'll mention social media burnout, so stay tuned. Today I value working smarter and finding the time for what's important in life more than being busy. And it's not working 16 hours a day. And you too can be more productive by working fewer hours if you prioritize yourself. As a result, you can easily avoid burnout, accomplish more, and live better. So first of all, what is burnout? You probably already know, but just in case, discovered and studied by Herbert Freudenberger, a German-born American psychoanalyst in 1974 as particularly pertinent to caring professionals, burnout is defined as a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion, which is caused by prolonged or chronic stress that is not recognized and or managed, and you're no longer able to meet constant demands. We all know burnout is on the rise in our society, and even the World Health Organization recognized it as a serious syndrome in 2019. Burnout is usually work-related, but it can expand to your personal life. In episode 20 of this series, I mentioned that burnout is a sign that our bodies has entered survival mode, trying to conserve the resources it's left with. And this is why burnout is very serious and often difficult to address and reverse. What causes burnout? Well, there can be different causes. There's a great book called The Burnout Epidemic by Jennifer Moss that lists the 6 main causes in the workplace. I added this book to my Reframe pillar list for stress, anxiety, and burnout, and you'll find the link in the info box below. The first cause that Moss mentions is pretty obvious: workload. Overwork is a main cause of burnout. The second one is perceived lack of control. Demanding deadlines or tasks can lead to this, as well as micromanaging from your employer. The third one can be lack of reward or recognition for the job performed, making you feel less valued. And it can also include lack of support from the manager or the team. The fourth one is poor relationships, and I would also include social connections at work, but also in our personal life. The fifth one is lack of fairness, such as unfair treatment or unfair compensation. And the sixth one is values mismatch. And this can happen if an organization doesn't communicate values clearly with their employees. However, as I said, burnout is not only occupational, and it can expand to your personal life. Trauma, chronic pain, and again, difficult relationships can have a huge influence and lead to burnout. What are the warning signs of burnout? And guys, this is tricky because signs of burnout can be subtle at first. So you may not pay attention to them until it's too late. Also, warning signs can be different for everyone since we all respond to stress triggers in different ways and with different intensity. Our response is highly individual. So what your friend or colleague may experience might not be a symptom for you. So again, you may be tempted to dismiss the fact that you are experiencing burnout. And we are also very good at learning to adapt to stressors or to ignore them and live our daily life. But over time, our emotional circuits become increasingly overloaded from constant, excessive demands until they stop functioning properly. So you should pay attention to any of the following symptoms in your daily life: physical, mental, or emotional fatigue or exhaustion. I had a client who needed 12 cups of coffee to get him going through the day. 12 before he reversed his burnout. Now he doesn't need coffee anymore because he knows how to boost his energy naturally. Overwhelmed. You are worried about not being able to accomplish everything you have in your to-do list, and even the simplest deadline becomes a huge obstacle. Negative thoughts. You have a pessimistic outlook about your current situation and about your future. Self-criticism or hopelessness. Nothing in your daily life seems to matter or make sense anymore. You lose confidence in yourself and in your future. Irritability. You get frustrated or upset easily. Social withdrawal. You lose the joy of spending quality time with family, friends, and colleagues. And also poor sleep, because even if you're very tired after a long day, your mind can't shut off. No attention for yourself. You neglect your well-being and self-care. This is a phenomenon of depersonalization where you don't see yourself or others as valuable, and your personal needs become non-existent. And also physical symptoms like headaches, digestive issues, muscle tension and pain, or getting sick often because of a weak immune system. In the workplace, warning signs can include absenteeism, loss of enthusiasm, and reduced motivation or commitment for your to-dos, and poor performance, reduced productivity and creativity because your brain is simply drained and you can't focus anymore. All these warning signs inevitably lower the quality of your life and work. Your self-esteem and confidence begin to suffer and your overall well-being declines. I remember back then, I kept asking myself, what is happening to me? Why can't I concentrate? Why can't I accomplish what I used to do in almost no time? It was so frustrating and I couldn't find the solution for this. So you have to be able to recognize those symptoms or warning signs soon enough. Burnout builds up slowly and you might not realize you're going toward that path at the beginning. If you start noticing that your body and your brain are not cooperating and you feel that something is off, address the possible causes and find solutions as soon as possible. Now, is taking a break enough? And some of my clients reach out to me when they realize they're close to burnout or they're already suffering from it. and they're ready to do something, but they don't want to go through a medical route. They want to take action by improving their habits. So usually the first thing they try is taking a break on the weekend, but of course that doesn't really solve the issue, and that's when they contact me. I wish burnout could be reversed simply by taking a break. Burnout is now recognized as a medical disorder, and it takes much more than a break or looking at the bright side. The warning signs I mentioned earlier happen because your body is crying for help, trying to get your attention. As I mentioned several times in this video series, we're designed for a simple life, like the one in ancient times. The environment around us has changed, but we have not. So this is why our body has a hard time to keep up with our hectic way of living, and burnout is a clear example of this mismatch. So you need to address both the external causes of burnout, this could be work, relationships, social media, etc., and the internal causes. You have been marinating in stress hormones for maybe years without even realizing it. And then rebalance the systems in your body. And you have to give your body time to repair and recharge. This is why you need more than a simple break. Neuroscientists discovered that in people with burnout, the frontal cortex in their brain, an area which is essential to cognitive functioning, shows a pronounced thinning. Also, connectivity between different parts of their brain is reduced, causing less working memory and less problem-solving skills. This confirms that burnout has serious consequences, and we can no longer ignore it. However, it can be reversed. And we now know that our brain is plastic, as I mentioned in episode 3 of this series. So you can go back to a vibrant life. Not surprisingly, burnout is not only affecting you as an individual, whether you work for yourself or you are employed in an organization. This is a problem for companies too, costing billions of dollars every year in reduced productivity and staff turnover. And employees inevitably experience burnout due to the high amount of pressure or lack of support, and they either reduce their performance or they quit. And this takes a toll on the company's success because low productivity equals low profits. However, I'm glad to see that more and more companies are starting to support their workforce by implementing stress-reducing environments and solutions to improve the quality of work, well-being, and productivity. And this becomes a win-win situation. In my coaching practice, I use different strategies to help clients prevent and reverse burnout, whether they are on their stress journey. And today I'll share 3 tips that I hope will be helpful to take control of your burnout, whether you are an employee or an employer. So tip number 1 is give priority to yourself, to your well-being, to self-care. We are human beings, not human doings. Self-care is not optional or a luxury, it is a necessity. Our body and brain need to be taken care of. And always, always listen to your body. Know when you're putting too much pressure on it with work or responsibilities. So eat whole, nutrient-rich foods that provide the right fuel and energy to keep you focused and productive throughout the day. And don't forget to drink your water. Stay active regularly in order to increase blood flow to your brain for maximum performance and to boost your mood. Sleep at least 6-7 hours every night to encode memory in your brain, restore and cleanse your cells so that you will be refreshed the next morning. Dedicate time to yourself by meditating, journaling, playing, nurturing hobbies, spending time in nature, all excellent ways to increase positivity, boost your immune health, and increase resilience to stress and burnout. And research has found that engaging in activities that are meaningful and satisfying to you can help you recover from burnout sooner. And last, connect with your family and friends. Social connections are extremely important to lower stress and anxiety levels, and they can help, especially if you need support. You can also foster social connections in the workplace. Working from home can be beneficial, but it can become a source of loneliness. So, scheduling a day at the office once a month where you can all get together and catch up can help with better relationships. Okay, so this was a long tip number one. Tip number two is set boundaries between life and work. You may remember what I said about overwork. It is a main cause of burnout. Set your working hours and don't work after hours. Even if your home office is right across from your kitchen, it is very tempting to work after dinner, but you have to dedicate time to yourself and to your family. Other best practices to set boundaries can include making sure you are in control of your to-dos, setting clear expectations with your team and managers, no calls or emails after work, avoiding micromanaging to allow employees to decide how and when to complete their work for more autonomy, delegating tasks, making sure your job aligns with your values and you have purpose for what you do. Otherwise, you should look for a new opportunity. Some companies are implementing a 4-day work week now. Would that work for you and your team? And then tip number three is take breaks. You probably heard me saying this a couple gazillion times. During the weekend, disconnect from work and take a break from the digital world once in a while. You will feel much more relaxed, recharged, and ready for a new week the next Monday. We've seen that breaks are not the solution to reverse burnout, but they are excellent to prevent it because you allow your systems to reset and recharge. There is a test called Maslach Burnout Inventory, you may have heard about it, that measures your risk of burnout. It was developed by Christina Maslach, professor of psychology and researcher at the University of California, Berkeley, to measure this phenomenon of burnout on 3 scales: exhaustion, cynicism, and professional efficacy. It's not designed to diagnose or treat, but it's a great tool to make you aware of possible burnout and act accordingly. I'll link the test in the info box below. So becoming aware is certainly a good start, but you need to take conscious action, and it will take time, patience, and help. And if you think you need help with burnout or even stress and or anxiety to make sure you won't get to that burnout or exhaustion point and you can stop burnout in time, you may be interested in my program, Reframe and Thrive. It's a 6-week program that will help you learn how the stress response works and its effects on our body and brain, identify the type of pressure you're experiencing. Is it stress, anxiety, or burnout? Recognize your triggers and create your reframe toolkit with personalized strategies and techniques to reframe your stress response, shift your mindset, build resilience, and reclaim your energy, focus, purpose, and joy in your life. Not to mention precious time for sustained success. One thing that I do when working with my clients who are dealing with burnout is having them identify previous experiences that might have contributed to their current situation and led to burnout. It could be past trauma, a difficult time at work, maybe an illness in the family. Even the pandemic affected some of my clients with traumatic consequences. And by doing that, they can identify the stressors, becoming aware, and work on reversing the offense by finding strategies to reframe the response, help them be more compassionate with themselves, and build resilience little by little. I'll add the link to the Reframe and Thrive program below so that you can check it out. And you can always schedule a complimentary clarity call with me to discuss more in detail and see if this is the best solution for you before you make a decision. I will see you in episode 27 of your weekly dose of life core balance next week, where we'll go back to the care pillar and we'll talk about the very timely topic, digital wellness. If you use technology and social media, don't miss it. If you liked this video and you want to see more, make sure you share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you'll get notified when I have new video content. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to live life fully. Bye guys.